Great. So it is. Thank you, Robot Lady. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this month's free workshop all about nailing your email game. It's going to be a good one. It's a subject close to my heart. And I think it is a really core pillar of every small business to have a really strong email game. So I hope that you grab lots out of it. If there's anything you would like more information on, feel free to ask questions as we go along, or if you prefer to save it till the end, or it doesn't occur to you until later on, by all means, come back to me whenever you are ready. Okay, so if you haven't met me before, hello, thank you, welcome, thank you for watching. My name is Lizzie McCauley. I am a launch specialist copywriter and the founder of the Get It Done movement. So my business is Write It, as you can see up in the corner over here. That's my business, and I support small business owners to create and express their big voices, and it is so much fun. It's so much fun. I love it. So my whole thing is all about embodying your unique voice, regardless of what it says or what it does. It's really where our power lies, in owning our own space rather than trying to occupy someone else's. So I'm a power lifter, I'm a public speaker, I am a hopeless introvert, and a lover of dresses with pockets. I am wearing a dress with pockets today, and I am loving life. So with that in mind, let's move on, shall we? So email marketing. I always like to add a quote at the start of these things. There was a lot to choose from. I kind of like this one because it aligns with me and my style of marketing. Hopefully it lands for you as well. I want to do business with a company that treats emailing me as a privilege, not a transaction. Because if we're just sending marketing spam or like sales spam all the time, chances are we're going to turn our people off eventually, and we don't want that. We want people who are engaged, who are looking forward to receiving the things that we send out, and who actually enjoy the experience rather than just see it's come from us and go, oh, no thanks, and move on with their lives. That's what I would say about that. Feel free to disagree. If you have a different opinion, I can take it. So I'm just going to do a tiny thing. I'm going to do that over there, and then we're going to skip on to, oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to skip on to the next bit. So why emails? I have lots of good reasons for why we should be doing our email marketing soon. I was actually just talking a touch about it. She was concerned that with the changes in Instagram, the nature of her business may change as well. And the fact of the matter is that we do need a complete ecosystem around our business in order to survive any changes and to stay in the driver's seat of our own lead generation, I suppose. So marketing your business and selling your stuff requires a complete ecosystem. So that includes a website, it includes a social media presence, and it includes an email presence as well. So that is the kind of stuff that I help with and that we do in our membership all the time, isn't it, Jen? We do all the things. We need sales pages, we need all these things, and they kind of talk to each other. And the best bit of it is that once you develop your consistent voice, it doesn't matter where you're providing it, it's all going to sound the same, look the same, and nobody's going to be confused that they've clicked a button and ended up in the wrong spot. Consistency there is what is important. Email marketing has a higher chance of connecting with anyone than social media. Algorithms aren't really set up to promote your stuff on social media. Algorithms are set up to give the user exactly what they want. So it's a different kind of thing, which leads me to my next point, that the audience on your list have asked to be there. So they want to see your stuff, right? Even if they don't open every single thing, that doesn't mean that they're not looking, that they're not interested. They've genuinely asked to be there. So it's a much more targeted way of communicating with an audience. And you know that the audience you're communicating with is already kind of a warm lead because they want to be there. They haven't just happened upon you by chance, So that's a really important thing to keep in mind, especially if you're the type of person who goes, oh, I'm not sure if I should send that email. Oh, it's going to be annoying. No, it's not. People want to hear from you, especially if they've asked to specifically. So keep that in mind. So emails have a huge reach, much, much larger than social media. The stats, let me look through my notes. The stats, it was something like, if you're looking at promoting something on social media organically, you'd maybe get a 2% hit rate, or like of someone viewing it that you actually want to view it, where with email marketing it's closer to sort of 25-30. My emails are up to 40-45% open rate. So with that in mind, and again, Sue, I know we just talked about you can't guarantee that somebody is reading it or not, but if they're opening it, that's got to be better. That's got to be more of an indicator than throwing stuff out into the world via social media and having no idea what's landing and what's not really. So that's number 4 of my why emails argument, is that your performance is so measurable. You know who's opening what, you know who's unsubscribing, you know who's clicking through the links that you provide towards, you know, whatever content else you want them to see. Incentivizing people to click through is a massive part of your email strategy too. That's something that I need to work on. I'm not so good at that. But it is one of the performance indicators that you can measure quite easily. So I like that because I have a clear picture of what's working, what people are responding to, and what my community isn't interested in. So like, it really helps to know what you think versus what they want, you know? So let's see, it was, yep. Click-through rate, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. I was just looking through my notes. Let's see, return on investment. Email marketing has the highest return on investment of any marketing strategy on average. So for on average, every company that spends $1 on email marketing can expect to earn $38 of revenue in return. So that sounds not terrible, as opposed to social media where it's, you know, bugger all. So and our friend Mark seems to keep an awful lot of that. So personally, I would rather keep my money or give it to people who aren't named Zuckerberg and then go from there. But you know what? Everybody's different. So what's next? How do we do it? How do we build a list? We know that we need a list. We know that emails, we've talked about how emails are a really helpful tool. How do we build our list? So ultimately, it's a value exchange, right? It's not, I need to build my list. I need to have emails. We don't need to panic about it at all. We just need to have a conscious value exchange. So we need to give people a compelling reason to opt in to our list. And having, you know, like a little section on our website that says, sign up for my newsletter. Sorry, that's probably not going to do it anymore. It might have worked a decade ago, but we need more than that. We need to give something to receive something. So we start with our lead magnets. So I'd love to do a bit of a workaround. Has anybody got any lead magnets working hard for them at the moment in this space? Sue?
No.
That's okay.
I'm keen to hear about this because I don't.
Yeah, great. Jackie?
I've got some lead magnets. I wouldn't say they were working hard.
Well, they're out there in the world. That's a start.
They're out there in the world. Yeah, there needs to be some serious marketing to tell people about them, because as I heard you say once, you can't sell a secret.
You can't sell a secret. I love that that's rattling around your head still. I
know it's huge. It's huge.
Yeah. Excellent.
So, so I've got a couple actually, and that's probably half of my problem, is that I'm probably offering a few. So I've got
I think different people will be attracted to different things though as well. So I would probably, I have maybe 3 or 4 out and about that are there for, like, as I say, like one's in fact, one's an email challenge. So I might drop the link to this to everybody. It's
that's a good idea.
Smashing your open rate. So Sue, that actually might help you with all the information I had in my head. I was going to give you anyway. So so that's all about, you know, editing your subject lines and finding really effective ways of getting people to actually open your emails once you've got them on your list. So that is a version. Jen, you've got at least one lead magnet about, don't you?
Yeah, I've got 2. And as Jackie said, I'm not sure that they're working very hard, but they are out there. Yeah, so definitely we'll be working on something that's hopefully going to get more people to opt in. Absolutely.
That's what we're here for, right? So the thing about lead magnets, and I'm sure we've all heard about them, right? So what they need to be is something that we can offer that provides great value for somebody, that is very little effort for us in the end. We don't want to be spending 6 years developing a thing and then putting our heart and soul into it and then sending it out for free. Like, that's kind of not the point. The point is to give people a flavor of who you are, what you're about, and what you can do for the people in your space, you know? So ideally, what a lead magnet could do would be to solve a problem for somebody. So for instance, one of our new members, Catherine, who's in this space, she's working on an ebook just now, and she's not sure how much to give. You know, she doesn't want to give away her entire approach, her entire technique, but she doesn't want to hold back so much that nobody gets what they need at all. So, you know, for my approach, I would be giving just one portion of the pie. If it's something like an ebook of like something you can see people can put into action, but they need more from you to be able to complete the process entirely, you know. So there's a couple ideas. Lead magnets are super variable. So we could do a checklist. Everyone loves a checklist, and it's so actionable and so demonstrable. You can, like, who doesn't like to tick stuff off their to-do list? Really, it's kind of a fun feeling, right? So it's simple, it's easy to understand. Like, if you have this problem, here's this list of things to do to solve that problem, you know, tick, 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 problem solved in theory, you know. Maybe life's a bit more complex than that, but that's kind of the idea, right? Then we've got the ebook, like I was talking about. My personal concerns with an ebook is that quite often they are, yes, to-do lists are your gem because you and that chick, and I love it about you. It's just, there's something real like satisfying about that tick. So an ebook can either be too long or too short is the thing. So if it's like a 2-pager, don't call it an ebook, because it's not, and you raise people's expectations that it's going to be this comprehensive, in-depth thing, and then suddenly it's, oh, well, there's your name and your business name. What else am I getting here? So it's just about managing expectations. So if it's an ebook, go hard, but also don't wipe yourself out trying to create it, especially as a freebie, unless you plan on selling it for a really low ticket number later on. That might also be a thing to consider, because you can have paid lead magnets. It can be like a $7 thing that leads into telling people about the $2,000 thing that you do, you know. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think that's still a really strong value exchange. It would just depend on who was on that list. There would need to be very warm leads as well, and you would have to have a really clear idea of the problem that you're solving in that space too. So ebooks, you could do a challenge. As I just discussed, I've got my Smash Your Email Open Rates challenge, which is a 5-day email series essentially. But you can do it live into the group. We just had the amazing Michelle in our membership space talk about challenges, and Well, it was kind of a complex thing, but it's a really great way to bring people into your space to help them understand how you work. Because one of the most important things we can do is demonstrate our ability to do what we do best, you know, and show people our process and help them understand our value. So to do a challenge is a really great way of doing that. Even for you, Sue, I realize you're an artist, so maybe you're thinking in your head, is this for me? But you could do like a paint with me challenge or something, you know. I think that would be really cool, actually. And if you,
I personally would sign up to that.
I would too. I was just thinking that, like, oh, can we do that, please? Yeah, Jackie.
Yeah, actually, like I've been going to Kmart and getting the paint by numbers.
Yeah.
And I'm desperate to do a paint and sip, but
Yes,
they're pretty expensive. But I'm not 100% sure whether the person that is selling them are worth it. But
well. And so isn't that the point? This is how you can demonstrate that, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, that's how you build that connection. That's how you build that following, is having the ability to show up not in person, but show up in a way that people understand how you move, how you think, how you speak, what your approach is. So something like, and Sue, I realize that I've just pulled it out of my head, but if you do that challenge, could you please let us know? So
I will.
Join you.
Definitely, I'm well up for that.
That sounds like so much fun.
I'm making notes.
Yes, great. All right, so make a note. Tell Lizzie when it's on so she can come paint, because I think that would be amazing. Oh, Hannah's here. I'm just going to bring her in. So you could do a worksheet. So I don't know, like think about whatever helps you get to your end result of what you do, and offer some solutions in that regard. It could be, here's a training video on what I know best. Jackie, I know you could do a million of these on everything that you do. A mini course, a webinar, even just something as simple, if you're more of a product-based space, as simple as a discount code, like a one-off discount code that you've got to enter your email to receive. Great, easy, value exchange for sure. What else we've got? A quiz. One of our gorgeous women in the membership as well is working very hard on a quiz at the moment. Could be a survey, a giveaway, or even just offering entry into a private community. That's another thing. So as somebody comes into, let's say, just for off the top of my head, let's say it's a Facebook group, maybe one of the conditions of entry to this private community is that you need to give your email address over. So there's lots of different ways to build your list, and maybe some of these you haven't tried yet. So hopefully for anyone here or watching, there's something new for you to have a stab at as the day goes on, or as the week goes on, or as the rest of the year goes on. Lots and lots of options, as long as it is a value exchange, right? So no expectations of just getting stuff anymore. We need to give to get. Okay, cool. All right, so okay, we've done all this stuff. We built the list. Great. All right, people are coming in. What do we do now? Like what should we do with our list? Because I'm guilty of going, great, my list is building, but I'm too busy. I can't possibly, I haven't got time to actually write emails. I haven't got time to do any of this stuff. What we need to do, no matter what, especially if somebody has handed over something as well, it is kind of personal. It's personal as their email address. We need to make sure they're rewarded for their efforts, right? Because again, they've asked to be in our space. If then we don't do anything to nurture that connection, they're going to feel a little cheated perhaps, or ignored, or they'll just forget about you, which is probably the worst of the bunch, because I don't know about you, but I'd rather maintain that positivity, maintain the vibe, and keep front of mind in the people in my space. So the idea is to give your list a little bit of love. That's all you need to do. One of the easiest ways to do this is to picture your client journey, right? So, and again, I'm guilty of this. So it's speaking from experience, not just from, being a preachy person. So you picture it, this person signs up for your thing, whatever the thing is, they hand over their email, they get the thing, whatever it is, and then they never hear from you again, right? What a flippin' missed opportunity that is. What an incredibly missed opportunity that is, when it could be as simple as doing something like a welcome email sequence that's a set and forget, or a nurture sequence that is equally a set and forget. And I'm going to give you a sample structure of that in my next slide. So if you're not sure what that is, I'm going to take you through that in a minute. Also, weekly updates. I would argue for weekly. Some people aren't so comfortable with that level of regularity. Some people think it's not regular enough. Personally, I don't need one every day from someone. If I like you, I want to hear from you, but I don't want to hear from you 5 days a week. I've been getting Amy Porterfield emails probably twice a day recently, and it was enough to make me unsubscribe. So it'll be different for everybody's different audiences, but personally, I think once a week is plenty for us in the small business world who are doing things our own special way. And also you can do sort of the ad hoc emails of like, here's something that I just discovered that I couldn't wait to share, and always needing to be value adding content. So this isn't like, oh, by the way, you know, I had cheese for my breakfast, although that's a great thing too, good for you. It's more about, here's this thing I just discovered and I couldn't wait till my next weekly update to share it with you. Or here's this thing I just created. I need a few beta testers who would like to come on board to experience the thing that I just created. And you're building that trust, you're building that community, you're building that connection with the people in your world. So that is what I would do with my email list if I were me, which I am sometimes. So moving on, here's what I would do if I was putting together an email sequence, which again, this is the kind of structure that I give my clients as well. All right, so keeping the value exchange in mind, and this one thought, if you think of nothing else, and I probably put this note on the wrong slide, but who cares, let's roll with it. The first email you ever send someone on your list is the most read and opened one you'll ever send, right? So it better be bloody great, I guess, is the point of that. So make an impact, make it memorable, make it something that gets them squealing with delight. Oh my God, I can't believe I got this, you know, how exciting, instead of, oh yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, cool. You know, which reaction would you prefer people to have, I guess, is the thing. So here is my structure that I go for. And it's kind of the same, whether it's a welcome series or whether it's a nurture series. So the first one is, hey, thanks for joining the list, or hey, thanks for joining the group, or hey, here's the worksheet that you asked for. Thanks so much for being on this journey with me. You know, that's kind of the broader strokes of email 1. Email 2 is always, well, now that you've got this thing, I hope you liked it. Please tell me more about that, which I'll talk about later as well. Here's a bit about me and my community, my universe, my area of expertise. This is what I do. And always through your emails, there should be an element of back and forth, should be opportunities for conversation. What do you think? And get them to hit reply, or, you know, go look at your, let's say your Instagram feed for more information on XYZ thing. You know, make it so that the ecosystem that you're building works for you, you know, and that one thing confirms another thing in all the different areas. Yeah. Email 3 should be, or should is maybe too strong a word, could be kind of a case study or a client experience that you've had, depending, or a customer experience, depending. Obviously product-based businesses are slightly different, but you know, it should be a story about, here's, especially for service businesses, here's the problem that they had, here's how we worked through it, and here's what life is like now. That's the kind of case study that I like to put together. So it's really clear and gives you that authority that you can solve that problem again because you've already done it, and the client's so happy about it. And of course, nothing is more powerful than social proof when it comes to sharing your work. Yeah. Because it's one thing to say, do you know what, I'm really good. But when Haina tells me, look, it tells my people, do you know what, Lizzie's really great, I think it comes with a different tone, right? It's not the same, because shit, I'm good just is not that exciting to hear, really. Number 4 is another, it's a great opportunity to overcome objections from the people in your world. So FAQs. So, you know, let's say it's Jackie and I've heard OBMs are expensive. Well, how expensive is it to have your business run properly? You know, and you can kind of, it's a great chance there to overcome whatever objections it happens to be. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I have to check with my partner about XYZ thing. Here's your chance to talk about that before they've even had the thought in their head, almost, is what I would say to that. And then number 5 is always giving the opportunity to connect. So a really strong call to action email. Whether you're a service-based business or not, having someone say, okay, no, having the opportunity to say, okay, now you've learned a bit more about me, my world, what I'm capable of. Why not let's work together, or why not let's do something more, let's move this relationship forwards. And the thing is you can't no one's, what can I say, I've just caught myself in like 3 different thoughts at once, so you know, enjoy that experience as my brain wrestles with itself. Yeah, it's important to ask for the sale, essentially. Like if I'm dialing back to my flight center days, asking for the booking is a really big deal, because people don't often offer it up for themselves. You got to sort of lead people to take the behavior that you want them to take, because God love us all, we're a little bit dense, and we kind of need to be told what to do with all this fabulous information. It's the same thing as having it on a website or wherever you happen to be looking. If somebody doesn't know what to do with the information you've just given them, they're probably going to click off, go think about something else, is the thing. So you need to have a clear, now that we've gone through all of this stuff, here's what to do next. And that could be, let's have a chat. It could be go to my shop. It could be go to my socials and love every post that I've ever, like whatever you want somebody to do, you need to be explicit about that and tell them pretty clearly, first this, then that, let's do it, you know? And if they don't, oh, well, you've done your bit. It's up to people to make up their own mind in their own time about how they use that information. But if you don't ask, you don't get. So clear call to action is a really important one. And the best bit of it being a sequence is that once you've written it, it's going to work every single time somebody signs up to your list. You don't have to do anything. It's an automated experience. So thank you, welcome, let's connect, da, da, da. And it doesn't mean that it has to be a robotic tone of voice. It doesn't have to be unpleasant. It just needs to be consistent, I suppose. And, you know, if your situation changes or you just want to freshen it up, go ahead. You know, it doesn't hurt. Okay. So we've done the sequence. Now, I know the other thing to keep in mind is, well, okay, we've done the sequence. What are we going to say to people the rest of the time? And the fact is, it doesn't have to be spammy. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm selling to them again, and then to have them look at it and go, oh my God, she's saying the same thing. And it's just, I'm sick of being sold to. No. It doesn't have to be like that. It's still keeping this value exchange going, right? So you could have life updates and brand updates, what's going on in your world. Like for me, I was just talking this week about being away and being with family and how that kind of led into the thought of the day about honoring your energy, stuff like that. You could have an email about tips and tricks. You could have maybe a series of emails that serves a particular purpose. So for instance, maybe it's you have an in-depth thing on the techniques that you use in your business to help your people or whatever it happens to be. Maybe it's, again, a different type of thing. Maybe it's a free training that you've just developed. For instance, I will be sending this out to everybody on this list, the replay of this once it's done. So hello, if you're on replay for this. What else? It could be a roundup of the tools and resources that you use. Maybe it's a behind the scenes of your process. Maybe it's just like a discussion of how horrifically messy your desk is, which I could be an expert in because it's hard to look at sometimes. Share your latest work. You could be saying, look at this amazing stuff I did for a client. Maybe it's a commissioned artwork. Maybe it's it could be a case study external to the welcome or nurture series that you've done. And the last option, well, I mean, there's way more than this, but this is the last option on my little list is you can repurpose old content as well, especially if you're having a crazy week and you just can't use what you've already written before. So old blogs, old posts, things like that, even if it's just directing them to it, you could just go really simple, have like 2 lines. Depends on how honest you might like to be. I'm having a shitty week. Here's some old stuff that I did. Have a great week. I'll see you next week when I've recharged. I don't know. It depends on if that's your style or not, but it's tempting, right? On the days where it feels like, oh God, I've got to write this email, or I've got to do this, or I've got to do that. Well, you don't have to. Don't have to, but it's better if you do. Especially if you can sort of have that rapport with your people where you can be brutally honest and say, do you know what, this week is not my week, but I'll keep going. I don't know. That's what I do anyway, for better or worse. And so my last slides is actually, I know you wouldn't have signed up for homework, but you got it. So homework for you. First one, brainstorm 5 ideas for emails you can send over the course of the next few weeks. 1 a week is awesome. You can batch them as well. Let's say you did have 5 ideas. You could execute those 5 emails on the one day, schedule them out for the next 5 weeks. Bam, you wouldn't have to think about it again. How awesome would that be? Okay, that's an option. It's always an option. And my OBM girls in the group will be totally onto automation and expecting that things run ahead of time rather than, oh shit, I've got to write an email. What the hell am I going to do the day before you're supposed to send it, or the day you're supposed to send it? Second bit of homework, and I'd love you to write it down and stick it up somewhere. And then if you could, drop a picture of it to me somewhere. Write down, I will write, and make a commitment to yourself, to your business, and to your community. I will write X number of emails this month. I don't care what your number is. As long as it's more than 0, go hard, right? And make that commitment. Stick a note up somewhere, send me a snap. I would really love to see that happen. I think that would be fabulous. And then it possibly more likely to take some action around that too, don't you think? Yeah. Awesome. So over to you. Any questions? Go, Hannah.
So I just started like emailing, like I was like, okay, I wasn't really a fan. I don't know why, but whatever. Anyways, so what I have now is I was thinking like, I don't know if you can hear my kids, but it's every 2 weeks now. And then I wanted to start off with that, but then I was looking at it. I was looking at my analyzing. It's like the first year, right? Like the first 2 was okay. Yeah. And then now it's like people are dropping, and it just kind of makes me like, oh, like, how do you work with that? Like, do you think it's more rechange of how I'm approaching and sending things, or what would be the kind of best way? Or is it that's just normal, like people drop, but that's just how I don't know.
Well, I don't know. People come and go from lists, and definitely I would say if people are off your list, it's kind of a good thing because they're not your people.
Sure. Oh, that's true.
Because that's the way I see it. It keeps me sane, because otherwise I would cry a lot when people unsubscribe from my finely crafted email.
Yeah.
The way I see it is that's them deciding that they're not a good fit for my space, and what you want is a list full of engaged people, because what it's going to do is going to actually, over time, it will improve your open rates. It'll improve your stats, because it won't have somebody looking at it going, oh my God, from Hannah again. Ugh. You want someone like, oh my God, it's Hannah's email, I can't wait, it's that day of the week, blah, blah, blah. So it's because it's Wednesday. I'm sure I got your email this morning.
Yeah, so, I did think so, yeah.
While I get what you're saying, and we don't want unsubscribes, we kind of do. because there's a really good reason that they're not on our list anymore. And
That's
of
true.
course, it creates room for people who should be there, who want to be there, etc.
Yeah,
So-
that's for sure. That's true. Yeah, I didn't think about it like that because I was like, oh no, but then you're right. Like,
I mean, yeah, it's hard not to take it personally.
Right.
It's like, what did I do? What did I say?
yeah. It was, I mean, it's not bad. It was like 2 on one time and then 1 on the other. But I was
Exactly.
like, but then I think because I know them and I'm like, oh, well, that's.
Yeah.
But I should.
Oh, I had that moment when my sister-in-law unsubscribed. And then I thought, I'm not selling to my sister-in-law. I don't need that. Like, it's
Sure.
fine. You know, and of course, she's my sister-in-law. I love her to death. She's amazing. I have no problem with her not being on my list.
Yeah,
She's not my audience.
that's
In
fair.
fact, I mean, sorry, an anecdote, and we'll get on with the rest in a second. I was at an event, speaking at an event at the end of last week, and there was a lady there telling a story about how her husband had given her some pretty unhelpful feedback about a post that she was trying to create, and that it gave her the shits basically, and that she was really upset about it. And the only thing in my brain was, well, are you selling to your husband? Is he
Yeah.
your audience? Who
That
cares?
is
Like,
true,
his
yeah.
feedback doesn't matter. What matters is the people who stay. you know?
Yeah.
And let's say that there was like 100 people drop off your list in a day, then I'd be more worried. But like 1 or 2 is pretty standard. There's like, I wouldn't worry. I have 1 or 2 people drop off every couple of weeks. It's like,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right, thanks for your time. If this isn't for you, that's no problem.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true. Okay. Yeah. No, I think that's because I just started, like, that's with like my
Yeah,
3rd or so email this month. I just started. So that's why I was like, oh, but you're right. Like,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, that's more of a mindset thing, or
Yeah,
a-
for sure,
yeah.
for sure. Yeah. But I get it now. I think I need to think. I was like, oh, whatever. But because
Exactly.
so yeah, no, thank
Yeah.
you.
So that'll do. Are there any other questions before I move on to the other bit
Oh,
stuff that we
Yes,
do?
please.
Go,
Just a
Sue.
silly one. Just on the sample sequence structure.
Yeah.
That's the first time, actually. Thank you very much. It's the first time I've sort of heard of that. How far apart? I'm assuming they're separate emails.
Oh yes, yeah,
Yeah. Otherwise, bang.
yeah. Otherwise, there's a lot of information, right?
Yeah. How far apart would you send those? Like how in time wise, like a
Well,
week apart or a month apart?
Sure.
Or...
Personal preference. I've got an argument ongoing with one of our beautiful members who thinks it should be kind of a month apart because she's very reserved.
Yeah.
I would do every 1 to 2 days, do a different one, just while they're fresh in your space, to
Yep.
kind of keep that momentum going of, right, you've come here. And again, we're talking about if the first one is the most engaged anyone will ever be with your emails, then you might as well try and keep that momentum up as well as possible from the very start. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
What do we think? You reckon you're keen to take on some email sequences now, Sue?
Me?
Yeah. You reckon?
Oh yeah, definitely. I
Excellent.
think it's a great idea. It's sort of something I never really thought of before. So
Well,
yeah.
and look, it'll save you a lot of time in a lot of ways because it's
Yeah.
automated. It just happens without you having to do anything, which is great. And then when that sequence is done, they move into your like normal list. And that's fine too, because then you can service them week in, week out with amazing content about your life, your work, how you help, and so on and so on and so on. So it's great.
I have a quick question.
Hi,
I don't know
hi.
if you can answer this.
I'll try.
And I don't know if I'm asking the right question, to be honest. But so, for example, you have an email list. So
Mhm.
you're very organized, and you've got lots to say, and you send everybody emails.
Mhm.
So let's say once a week.
Yep.
But while you're doing that, you're also building up your list and sending lead, and your lead magnet is pretty popular, so they're coming into your list.
Yep.
Right. So I know the technology behind
Mhm.
to make it happen, but
Yes.
what do you think the best way is to get them to come in, but then to get them to your list? Do you know what I mean? So you know what I mean? So it's like, come in, but like, because I don't want to send them like 6 emails because they've
Yeah.
come into the list at a certain time, and I might be sending loads of emails out. So it's a little bit like, I suppose it might depend on where I'm at in that business and what I'm doing, but
it also comes
Do you know what
down
I'm trying to say?
I kind of do. We actually, me and one of the members talked about this yesterday, in fact, was and what it came down to is that every platform is slightly different in how to handle it.
Yeah.
So that's something you could actually, I realize it's kind of passing the buck, but I only have Flowdesk, so I could only tell you about Flowdesk. But there will be solutions for it, and you can go to your service provider to have guidance.
Yeah. I guess what I'm trying to think about is, so if somebody comes in and I send a really good email out following your brilliant things that you suggested here,
I'll take it.
And I say maybe in that first email, I could say, just so you know, you've been added to my main list, and I send an email weekly. And the next, they normally sent out on a Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
look out for the next one. So that way it kind of
definitely setting the
kind
scene.
of tells, setting the scene, setting expectations.
Absolutely.
So that when you do that automation and they do come in, you know, you add you add them into the main list.
Yep.
And the lead list. So without.
Yeah. So it's either they come in and they'd probably be, well, okay, I'm working off Flowdesk, so let's just go with what I know.
Sure.
And if it doesn't apply to you, well, we'll figure that out too. But if it's coming into if you've come in on a particular lead magnet, they'll be, or whatever, they'll be on that structure. But they'll also be in your primary list, right? Isn't that?
Yeah.
So
well, they can be, yeah. I
yeah.
mean, you can, depending on how you set it up. I
Well,
mean,
that's
you
it.
can
Yeah.
so that they just, yeah. But I think, I think GDPR and all that nonsense, well, it's not nonsense. I know it's not nonsense,
No,
but
I know.
all that, it kind of set, you've got to, I feel like possibly one thing that's holding me back is the whole, not peeing people, the wrong people off at the end of the day. So it's just about having a good journey, having a good customer journey, I suppose, but being truthful and honest about what they're actually going to receive.
I mean, that's you set the scene. That's your welcome email should be definitely about, here's the thing, or here's what we do, here's what to expect from here. Set the scene. Jen's saying the same thing. When people sign up to my lead magnet, in my little intro email, I say that over the next few days, I'll be popping into their email. So as long as you're upfront with people, I don't think there's a particular problem. And that's the way I would do it as well.
Yeah, I didn't see because I'm on my phone. The chat isn't ideal, but when people sign up to my lead magnet, okay, perfect, all right.
So I mean, I totally get what you're saying, and that's exactly what we're talking about. People don't want to be just sold to and feel like it's a transactional thing. So if you start that rapport building right away by saying, here's what to expect, I don't think they would have a problem. But if you just started flinging emails at them and going, here's a thing, then struggle.
But I also don't want to set expectations that every Tuesday at 4:00 they're going to receive an email, because
but maybe you do, because then that would commit you to doing the thing. Ooh. I know. True. I know. I'm just messing around. I get it. Look, it's completely up to you. Look, personally, I would be committing to something, like even if it's once a month and everything else is a bonus, but servicing that list that you've got, as I say, they've asked to be there, so the more you can give to them, the more chance you have of receiving back as well.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Anyway, I think that kind of answer. Hopefully that answers that, Jackie. You tell me.
It really does. Yeah, awesome. I think Thank you, everybody, for your suggestions, Jan, as well.
Absolutely, we are loving it. So, can we see a Google Doc now? Yep, excellent. This is Hannah's work. So, this is the kind of stuff that we do in our membership, in my Get It Done, the check-in membership. I had a moment there. I forgot what I was talking about. So This is what we do. This is what we do all week. And this is kind of something that I love to do as part of these workshops as well, is to bring people in and look at their work. It's definitely something that is kind of my favorite thing to do in the world, is figure out how can we get what you've got and make it even better than it was before. So Hannah and I go way, way, way back, and she was very kind to share her work with me today. So we are doing a speakers page for you, right? Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. So I would start. Hey, I'm Hannah. So look, I've got a structure here for my own. You do what you need to do. I would do, hi, I'm Hannah, you're unique. So why is this in brackets?
Because I wanted to make it like a unique, I guess, you know how I always want to try to be eccentric in a sense, and I was always too scared, but at the same time, I don't want to be too eccentric when I look like a wild dog. But I don't know, I'm not good, I'm not good with words. I didn't know, but I wanted it to be unique, because I know a lot of people have like, I am a mind coach speaker, or I am a, OBM speaker or something, but I wanted it to be different. Like,
absolutely. So
yeah.
what about, like, I kind of like one of a kind for you, because it's just a bit more straightforward than I'm unique. I'm so special.
Yeah. I wasn't sure what word to use.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted it to be a unique word, or a unique like bang,
Yes. Yeah. So hi, and also I'm going to break you of this habit one day, buddy. So don't be afraid of the occasional contraction.
Not yet.
Yeah. Hannah. Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm your one of a kind speaker that brings the fun to getting not shit but shit done. Yeah. Why is there a question mark? Am I?
No. My question was the unique. Sorry, I just put that there for
exclamation mark.
Yeah.
So here's my problem with this, and I know as soon as I point it out to you, you'll go, oh yeah. So this is about you, right? We want it to be about what you do for their audience as a speaker. Yep. So it's not that you have, like, you do have high energy, you're an amazing cheerleader. What does that give the audience? What do they get to take away from having listened to you as a speaker?
Feel inspired. I want them to feel motivated. I want them to feel like they're really stepping into not a regular service provider, but more. I want them to start feeling like they can offer more. That's the biggest thing for me, coming out of that.
Right.
So yeah, those are the kind of words I was thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's all true. So but reading that as somebody putting on an event, I don't get that from this, do I?
No.
So let's fix it, or let's gussy it up some. Hey, we'll make it beautiful. So I need a speaker that instead, I'll just do that for now.
Yeah,
Your audience inspired and ready to take on the world. I'm your guy.
Yeah.
Gal. So see how that's already, you turn that around, and now it's not about you at all, even though you will have all these things. Your vibrancy and your enthusiasm will come through naturally. Yeah. But now it's about letting that event organizer picture what a session with you is going to be like.
Yeah.
And how that's going to be amazing for the people who have paid to be there.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's chat it all out. Okay. So
meanwhile, I don't know what else to put on. I don't know.
No, you don't need to be self-conscious. This is like, it's me. So I know what your words are like, and I know that this is so much fun. So I just wonder if there's kind of some stuff that needs to go in. So like this kind of stuff, what kind of speaking do you want to do?
Okay. Yeah. So I want to do podcasts. I've been on 2 podcasts. I like doing webinars. I don't know about the live stuff yet, mainly because I have my children with me. So I don't
Yeah.
want to put that. But then at the same time, I don't want to take that away, because if they're like, hey, I'll take you to Bali, I'll be like, cool, I'll leave my kids somewhere else. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's tempting though, right?
Yeah. No, but yeah, webinars I really like. Even kind of like master classes. I like intimate ones. I've been in intimate. Sorry, I'm just opening up some popcorn. Everybody home for
Online
speaking of it.
education.
Platform or course or program or something.
I mean, yeah, that's something as well. And something that all of us would be totally awesome at is delivering like a module in someone else's course. And
Yeah, I love, those I love. Yeah, I like those intimate ones. So, or even lives, I love doing lives.
Yeah,
I just
live
think it's
interviews.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, that's a great start. And then people know exactly what, again, so it's that kind of thing of setting the expectations of, here's what I do. If it's not on the list, let's talk about it. But so that's cool. All right, let's go through. What else have we talked about? Testimonials, which are coming. Yep.
Yeah.
That's cool. No dramas. So yeah, this is, why have I got this here? I don't know. I must have just been like, here's why I'm good for you.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I mean, like, it kind of sounds like ego when I say it like that, but honestly, like this is essentially a sales page, but for you.
Yes, correct.
You know? So it really is an opportunity to sell yourself and why you're such a great option to have at an event. And if you can't sell yourself here, then you can't sell yourself anywhere, so maybe a bit more about your style.
Okay.
Like what kind of a speaker are you? And then that's when we talk about, what, so I'm going to leave you a question, right?
What kind of a
Speaker are you? So, I bring big energy. Oh gosh, big heart and the ability to.
Can I put something like about laughing? Because for the life of me, no matter what I do, I'm always going to make jokes and make fun. I try to be super professional and not, but I can't help it. So something like that. I like that. I'll think about.
Absolutely. Not boring or stiff. Super relaxed. Here to have a good time. And then you could also say, if you're looking for a professional type, oh god, professional, you're probably looking in the wrong, oh my goodness, the wrong place.
I like that. I'm keeping that for sure. Love it. Yeah, love that. Okay.
Because then, I mean, it helps everybody. So the same as we're saying, if there's people unsubscribing, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Not the right fit.
Yeah.
But it leaves room for the people who are. So it's the same. You don't want people who want stiff and boring. You want them to go to somebody who's stiff and boring and not you.
Yeah.
And that's great too. There's a place for everybody and an audience for everybody.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, it's just finding that person or place or audience,
Yeah.
So that's the kind of stuff that I would be talking about here. Bring big energy, big heart, and the ability to have the audience believe in themselves 100%,
Love that. Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff. This is your style. This is your go-to thing, right? And again, it doesn't have to be anything other than what you want to say and how you would say it. That's the best bit of this, is that you just, and what I do to it is just give it a little
twist. Yeah, for sure.
And this we've already worked on that one. I don't know too much on this work, but I wanted to try and make it fun. Go through it. Master. Yeah. Do you think
I meant word, sorry, on this word. Sorry.
Oh no. Shit. All right. Same.
So I was on the train. I was like,
So I join with businesses and their teams to work together to design a workflow that best practices. So where is your normal bio?
Oh, I have it, but I didn't know if it was okay to use. I still
Of
have it.
course. Yeah.
Just use that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And then
then
we
we
go-
could take that out. And
Yeah.
then in the bottom, like that middle sharing with you. Those were just kind of like the 3 topics I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, great. So like this is what I
yeah.
did. My topics of choice, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
And same. So you've got a description of those. Doubling yourself by outsourcing. Love it. Keeping your team morale high. So I suppose because you have these 2 different, what would I say? The 2 different strands to your business, I guess. So it really opens the opportunities to speak to lots of different audiences as well. So this is really cool. And it doesn't have to be 3 things. You can have 5, 10, whatever.
Okay.
You know, I just have 3 because I'm just me and I'm really limited.
Oh,
on
no,
all the cool
no,
things that you do.
Okay.
Double yourself by outsourcing is awesome. Stepping you into your, and do you know what else you could do if you're looking, I don't know, but if you're looking for a really a unique angle, what about something like working as an expat, you know, building a business in the country that's not yours and navigating. And Jackie, actually, you could do that too, because Jackie's in the Gold Coast, but she's from the UK via South Africa, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, working as an expat might be a really interesting topic to discuss.
I never thought about that. Yeah, because I was just talking to a gentleman the other day.
What a fantastic idea.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Because the other gentleman I was talking to, he's like, what is your accent? I was like, oh, I'm from America, but I was born in the Philippines, but I'm here. And he was like, and I was like, yeah, it's hard to explain. But yeah, I never thought about that. But we went on and on about it. Yeah.
And how interesting a story that would be, and like how
Yeah.
you came from the Philippines, like how did you get to be here?
Yeah.
That's part of your story, and that's a big
Yeah.
part of your story, actually.
Yeah.
Even if you don't necessarily acknowledge it, but I promise you it is for sure.
Yeah. Okay. No, I didn't think of that. I like that.
There you go. See?
Add that on there. Yeah.
Ideas machine.
Yeah, that's right. You always do. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
That's awesome.
Okay.
And then like, so that gives you a few ideas. Please feel free, like anything that you've done. Obviously you've got a heap of recordings, especially we've been on kind of some of the same stuff as well, and then more testimonials, and then let's chat. And then what I would do as well, I mean, just use my thingo as a model. It's been a long day, clearly. So then you'd include a short bio for somebody who's trying to promote you. So that would be, instead of it being I do this, I do that in first person, then it would turn to third person. So somebody else can describe you and your work. And then your availability, minimum of 3 months notice. So again, you're setting that expectation. If you want to work with me, this is how much notice you need to give me.
Yeah.
And you could say 6 months, you know, whatever, a week, whatever you think. And then if somebody's needing your contact and promotional details,
Oh, there. Okay.
you know, so that's what I would do with that. Does that help, do you think?
No, that helps a lot, because I literally was like, I've been sitting on this for like 2 weeks, and I was like, I need to have a speaking page. I need to have, I was like, when I first mentioned it to you, no, it was like a month now, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been sitting on it. I didn't know where to start with it. So thank you for your help. So
Hey, always. So keep chipping away at it. And for everyone else, if you enjoyed that, this is what we do week in, week out in the check-in, and it is so much fun. Isn't it? Hey, no.
yeah. I mean, like, half of the things would not be done if you weren't there to help me.
It's so Haina and Jen are both wonderful members of our little space, and it is a delight. We do this and we do so much more. We have our group working sessions, we have monthly hot seats to go through work in exactly this way. Jen says it's the best. Thank you very much. From your sick bed, Jen, God love you, welcome, thank you so much for coming. We just started because it's all from my head, we started a client referral program. So the more people you refer, the more rewarded that you get. And the thing that I have kind of decided to do today is that each of our members gets a chance to practice their presentation skills if they want to, and share their own masterclass on whatever topic is their area of expertise. That way we get to understand a bit of where they're coming from. They get to practice, and we also get to build our network of referral system by saying, oh, you need a thing? I know this chick, she just talked about this thing that she did and it's amazing. So that's the kind of stuff that we do in our space in the check-in. Jen is up next month. It's October birthday month for our Jennifer. So she, I have no idea what she's going to do, but I know it's going to be excellent. So that's kind of what we do. Are there any sort of final questions before we wrap up? I realize it's kind of the end of the thing. So anything that anyone needs to add or ask, or can we all trot on? All good?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Excellent. Great. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for popping along and asking such wonderful questions and sharing your ideas. It's just such a fabulous thing to be able to do. Next month, I'll be going again. I think it's the 26th. Yes, it's Wednesday, the 26th. I'll be doing my next one. To be decided what the topic is, but it'll be happening. So it's the most important thing. So thanks everyone for popping along. Feel free to reach out with your commitment photos that you did. I will do however many. I don't mind. There's no judgment on that. As long as it's more than 0, I'm going to be a happy lady. So great job. Thanks for popping in, and we will catch you next month. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.